Guys, welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer, and we are talking about Mr. Bruno Lage, who has been officially let go of his duties at Wolverhampton Wanderers. He came last summer, bit of an unknown quantity, I think that's fair to say. Scott managed a little bit in the Championship. He's done things in Europe, in Portugal. But, you know, he was a bit of an unknown quantity. We start off the season last season not very well. Then we go on an amazing run. I think we get like 18 points out of 22 or something, fighting for Europe all season, dipped away. And then this season, wow, it's just been awful. Guys, do us a favour, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Scott, give us your thoughts. How do you feel? One win this season. We've scored 3 goals. Take it away.
Well, something needed to change, didn't it? And I think there's a lot to debate on this, and obviously we'll go into it on this video. Was it all his fault, etc.? But I think you have to look at the facts. And against West Ham, he looked a bit broken himself. He's looked like that the past couple of games. I feel as well, you look at obviously some of the things he did, like when you're trying to put Neves at a centre-back position to maybe try and create something. Let's face it, at that point, you're all out of ideas, aren't you? And I mean, the one thing I would say is we looked a bit more positive when Costa did come on. And obviously that's something we'll talk about. Was it really fully his fault that he has messed up and inevitably gone? But at the same time, I think it feels right to me to get a bit of a fresh face in at this time. And I think, you know, you do wonder, you can't do anything to change any of the players or the situation we're in with injuries now. So the only thing you can do, and things have got to improve, is to get rid of Lage.
You have to. When I saw Neves at centre-back yesterday, I was fuming because when the team lineups came out, a lot of Wolves fans thought that it was Johnny Otto at centre-back, and then it was Neves, and you're thinking, I was fuming. When you've got Mosquera and Totti, Gomez on the bench, I really wanted it to work with Lage. Last season, when we were 5th, 6th, pushing 7th, pushing for 4th, and that's not a joke, we were like 5, 6 points off 4th for a lot of last season.
Yeah.
I thought, do you know what? When this guy's got players of his own, when Fossum pulled their finger out finally and actually show signs of caring about the football club, we're going to smash it. 4 at the back, we're going to have Neves, we're going to have attacking players, Neto, Adama, maybe a striker, Podence. And he's had players in the summer, it's got to be said, but it's just not worked out. And I don't know if it's Lage or the players still, but I do agree with you. You have to get rid of Lage because the players, you can't get rid of the players.
And I think one thing's clear, and you know, you think of all the even some of the greatest managers of all time, Jose Mourinho, when the Chelsea players decided they'd had enough of him. Of course, Chelsea let him go because they couldn't do anything else. So I think it was one of them where I think the same has happened. I don't think the players were particularly behind him. I really don't. And yeah, I do agree. I still don't know whether it is fully his fault because, you know, you have to say, though, 100 million spent. But then on the flip side of that, you could say, well, 20 million, 18 mil of that was spent on bringing in a striker that played 1 game and went. But you have to look at the back. You have to look at the backroom staff as well, which obviously he's part of. He's obviously employed a lot of those people. The injuries, we've been very daft with injuries, and I don't know if that's fully his people's fault or what, but a lot of questions have to be asked there. But I think there's still something in the way you look at it. And the football, you could see what he was trying to do. You just wonder as well, though, you know, the whole striker situation. We've still not really got a striker. We've got Costa that needs to get fit. Jimenez out, not really ever seemed the same since coming back. Fabio Silva out on loan, still a very young talent. And, you know, of course, there's just your new striker goes and gets injured, and we have been lacking someone that can score. Is it really, for example, Bruno Lage's fault when you look at Ait-Nouri being 3 yards out against West Ham yesterday, and he doesn't even have the confidence to shoot on goal? He tries to square it despite no one being there. He can't be blamed for that, but the matter of the fact is something has to be done, and that's the only thing we can do at the moment to pull things back round.
Can he be blamed for the fact that although Wolves are in the relegation zone, I think we've attempted more shots on goal from outside the box than any other club. I mean, that's got to fall under large, and I give him a little bit of a backing in terms of, tell you what, some of our front players, Scott Guedes, I have not been impressed with this guy so far. Something seems off about him for me. I think we've been done there personally, and I hope I'm wrong. This is not an agenda against him. Obviously, I want my £30 million player to
Yeah.
smash it, but I think they've had us on toast with him. I really do.
I mean, I like him, but I think it's too much of the same. Podence, Guedes, Neto.
It's
Yeah, I'm throwing
yeah.
Adama to that. Yes, they're all very different wingers, but are you looking at any of them being 6 yards out or getting in the right position, even 6 yards out, and definitely burying it? No, you're not. But one thing is clear. I think he'd lost the fan base, and I think he'd done that by maybe not being very endearing towards the fan base. And sometimes, yesterday, apparently he didn't go and clap the players off. Clap the fans, but of course some of the players didn't either. And he was one of them with Bruno. I think people tried to like him, but did I really warm to him like I did Nuno?
Yeah.
And of course, I was someone that wanted Nuno out in the end, but I never warmed to Bruno like I did Nuno. You just didn't quite feel the same way.
He never ingratiated himself with the fans. Listen, Nuno did incredible things off the pitch. Forget on the pitch, obviously that was amazing. But off the pitch, he was giving so much of his own money to local hospitals and foundations, and he part of the community. And I'm not saying Bruno's got to go and give his money away, but I just never felt like he was almost connecting with the fan base either on the pitch or off the pitch. I don't know. It's one win this season, Scott. That came against a very poor Southampton side, and I hope I haven't offended any Southampton fans there, but I'm sure you'd agree you haven't been the best this season. And even in that game, Scott, when we won 1-0, it took opponent's goal that he actually tried to square across goal, and it comes off his foot, hits the ground, and bobbles over the keeper. And you think, if that's your only win this season, it had to happen, didn't it? Let's be completely honest. I really wanted it to work, but it had to happen.
And sometimes it could just be looks not going your way. Of course, you mentioned the Southampton one, but on the flip side, you look at Newcastle when Hwang did obviously what he did. And again, another player that wasn't available this weekend. He actually did well for South Korea in the international break, scoring a goal as well, but another player not available. So I think sometimes you just know your luck's running out. And I think with Lage, it did. I'm interested to see what happens next, though, because obviously we've got the fact of who's going to be brought in, and you already were seeing the standard, names that good managers, but no Premier League experience. You do wonder, did Fosun need to go a different route? Because much like Nuno, much like Lage, these are both people that, no offense to them, but they didn't uproot the whole life to kind of be within. And Nuno obviously was very much part of the community. But, when you've got like both of them, they went home during international breaks and stuff. And can that really work? I don't know.
It is a hard one. One of the names, of course, and I think I might be pronouncing this horribly wrong, is Lopetegui, is it? Who, of course, was the ex-Spanish manager, Sevilla. Sevilla looks like he's going to get sacked. The Braga manager, who's done ever so well there recently, he looks like he could be in line with it. Scott, it just looks like, we're getting these managers from Spain all the time, or say Portugal, and I'm getting a little bit bored of it now. It was really exciting at first with Patricio, Neves, Matinho, Semedo, all these Portuguese players. But now I'm looking at it going,
is that our identity? Is that what we are? Do we always have to
just
have
a Mendes
manager? Do we have to always have a Portuguese or Spanish speaking manager? Like, I'm not saying we should just go, right, that's it, Brexit football. Let's go and get someone like Dyche. I'm not saying that, but we want to see attractive football. But more importantly, I just want to see us be competitive. And all I'm asking for is a manager that's going to mean that when I go to Molineux, I'm going to want to go, because in all honesty, I've not looked forward to any of the games this season. I really haven't. And even watching them on TV, like, yesterday felt like a bit of a pain.
It's hard to support a team that's only scored 3 goals in 8 league games. And you know what? The second worst is 5, and that's West Ham, only because they beat us 2-0. Yeah, I think my conclusion to sum the video up, Bruno had to go, in my opinion. I never really warmed to him. At times I did, but I think overall he never quite won me over, and I think it's time.
No, and I think it says it all that we won't be the only ones. I just wasn't fussed either way. I didn't think, oh, we've lost Bruno Lage. I really like the bloke. I could see what he wanted to do, and I do think it was time for him to go.
Like
To be honest.
Nuno really upset me. If you remember, I don't know if anyone does remember this. I did a 3-hour live stream randomly, and I was so drunk because I was drinking whiskey. I was drunk for 90% of the stream. I was abusing half of the viewers. I loved Nuno, but I never got that with Bruno.
No, I mean, but guys, we're going to be doing another video probably this coming Tuesday, having a look, if it's not already been announced by then, who is going to be in. And if someone is in, we'll do a video on Tuesday talking about the new man as well. But guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who would you like to see come in? I'm guessing a lot of you are probably happy that this decision has been taken as well. And as we said at the start of the video, do us a favor, hit that like button. Please do subscribe as well. And we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye.